All right, let's dive into something pretty incredible. It's this hidden story of how our senses are secretly connected, how your brain can literally turn something you just see into something you can almost feel. You know that feeling, right? That phantom feeling? You see someone trip or, get a paper cut and you physically wince. It's like you can almost feel it yourself. Well, it turns out you're not just imagining it. So what is actually going on inside your head at that exact moment? Yeah, because this isn't just some figure of speech. It is a real neural event. Your brain is literally, and I mean literally, responding as if that experience was happening to you. And now, for the very first time, scientists think they figured out the blueprint behind this incredible trick of the mind. Okay, so to really get this, we first need to look at how the brain creates maps for two of our most important senses, sight and touch, the world we see and the body we live in. Okay, so think of it like this. You've basically got two different Google Maps running in your head. The first one is for the world you see out there. It's called a retinotopic map, and it charts everything in your field of vision. The second map is for your own body, a somatotopic map, and it's what gives you your sense of physical self.
Right, and this body map, you've probably seen it before. It's often shown as that weird-looking, distorted little guy called the homunculus. And this map is the absolute foundation for your sense of touch. It has specific zones for your hands, your face, your feet, you name it. It's the blueprint for your physical self.
So here's the million-dollar question. How in the world do these two totally separate maps, sight and touch, talk to each other, right? How does a signal from one get translated into the language of the other? Well, to figure that out, researchers had to come up with a brand new way to kind of eavesdrop on the brain's private conversations.
And this new tool they built it's incredibly clever. It's a computational model that can scan the brain's faint background noise, its electrical chatter when it's just resting, and it can pick up the echo of that body map, and it can do this even when there is zero physical touch happening, none. So first, they used this new model to look at brains that were just chilling out, completely at rest. And no surprise here, they found exactly what you'd expect. That core body map network was just quietly humming along in the background, right in the parts of the brain we already associate with touch.
But then, and this is the really wild part, when people just watched videos, no touching involved, they were just watching, that same body map network didn't just hum, it exploded across the brain. It just lit up, expanding and stamping its pattern all over huge chunks of the visual system.
I mean, get this, just by looking at a video, about half, 50% of the entire cerebral cortex suddenly showed body map activity. That is it's massive. And it's basically the smoking gun. It proves that our visual system is actively pulling in our sense of touch to help it make sense of the world. So what this discovery showed wasn't just that vision uses touch. It uncovered this whole hidden network of what scientists are calling vicarious body maps. And they were hiding in plain sight, in places nobody ever thought to look. And this activity wasn't just random static either. Oh no. The effect was strongest in really specific parts of the visual system. We're talking about the areas that process action and social stuff. And this is super cool. It was especially strong in these highly specialized zones, like the EBA and FBA, which are basically the brain's expert body part detectors. And they nailed this down too. This body mapped activity, it only spiked when people were watching videos of other people. When the video was just, a landscape or something, the effect just vanished, which confirms it. These are truly vicarious, empathic responses. It's our brain reacting to seeing other bodies. Okay, but this is where the story gets even more elegant. Really beautiful. It's not just that these body maps show up in the visual system. The really amazing part is how they show up. They are perfectly logically aligned with the visual maps that were already there. It's like they're following the same shared blueprint. So it turns out the brain has two main strategies for syncing up sight and touch. They're both super elegant. The first is all about where things are in space, and the second one is about what things are. And by using both, the brain creates this seamless, unified experience of reality for us. All right, so the first strategy is all about space, visuospatial alignment. And it's just based on pure common sense, really. The brain links things based on where they usually are. So, for example, the part of your body map that's tuned to your feet overlaps with the part of your visual map that sees the ground, the lower part of your vision. Why? Well, because that's where your feet usually are. It's that simple.
Now, the second strategy is totally different. It's categorical. And with this one, the brain doesn't care about location at all. Instead, the part of your brain that's tuned to the feeling of your own hands lights up whenever you see a hand, anywhere in your vision. It's linking the idea of a hand across both senses.
Okay, so what does all this mean? This incredible, intricate alignment of our senses. Why does it matter in our everyday lives? What's the big takeaway here?
Well, to put it in the researcher's own words, it suggests our brain has a common language. Think of it like a built-in universal translator. It's a system that bridges the gap between sight and touch, and it lets our minds take all this raw, messy sensory data and build it into a reality that makes sense.
And this system, this common language, it's the very foundation for so much of what makes us us. It's the neural wiring that lets us do everything from, skillfully picking up an object to having a solid sense of our own bodies. And yeah, it's what lets us feel a pang of empathy when we see someone else get hurt. And all this really leaves us with a pretty profound final thought. If our brains are fundamentally built to map other people's experiences directly onto our own, well, where does one person's reality truly end and another's begin? It suggests a deeply interconnected blueprint for what it means to be human, wired right into all of us.